Hello, welcome back to a brand new episode about planted aquarium and how to deal things around it. Uh, Everything that you see in front of you right now looks like one aquarium, which is kind of something that has pretty much in it, but I don't think it's the best looking aquarium right now. And also, it has been a long time. The detailing has not been taken care of, and that's why this looks pretty much off. So today's task is we're gonna revamp this, make into a piece of art, try to tidy up things that are not there in the right place, and maybe figure out what better we can do here. So, before we revamp anything, we need to understand where exactly the problem is. And in this specific aquarium, we'll try to figure out what exactly the issues are. So, as you can very well see, the first issue that we see is the rotala over here. These are extremely well grown. Now, when they're extremely well grown, they kind of cover your top side and your light is not able to reach to the bottom. Now, that hinders the growth of all the bottom plants, including the Bucephalanda over here, the glandulosa, the Ludwiga glandulosa over here, the Monticello over here, and the moss has started to kind of creep in everywhere because due to lack of light and other plants actually competing well, moss is enjoying its time over here. The second problem over here is the Bucephalanda over here looks kind of a bit off the place because it's not kind of adding up to the detail as of now. The other side of the problem is if you see the carpet has started to die off, and in this specific area you see a complete black patch. It's not one of the best looking, and it was not exactly the idea where we wanted to have this aquarium to be at the certain place. And also, if you see here, the slant goes like this. But honestly, in any aquarium, to have a kind of a depth, the slant should be from back to front. So, for example, in this case, the front should be at a lesser height and the back should be at a higher height, rather than having an aquarium which is in this way. So, this is kind of a very basic overview what initially we're gonna fix, and then we'll closely look how we're gonna detail it. So before we can actually take a fix on this, we'll try to remove every excess thing that we have right now. So to start with, we'll first remove the Bucephalandas over here. So if you see here, it's pretty much stuck with moss and everything. We don't want it to kind of hinder those things. We'll clean this up. So the thing with moss exactly is like, initially when I entered this hobby, moss was one of my favorite go-to plant. But with time I realized moss being one of the easiest plant to grow, not that it's kind of easy, sometimes it simply overtakes what you exactly desire for your aquarium. So you need to understand that having a moss in a planted aquarium, you need to be very sure that you trim it in regular intervals. Otherwise, it simply overtakes all your aquascape. And you lose your complete detailing, exactly what you look for your aquarium, and all those things. If you see here, this is one bright Bucephalanda over here. And we'll take this out as well. This stands over here. This is two Ludwiga glandulosa. These are pretty much in good shape. We'll remove these. These have good roots. If you can see, the white roots show they're pretty healthy. So this is one over here. There is one over here. So now we have two of these. There is one more Bucephalanda over here. I'm not sure if it's still in a right state, but just because I can still see the epiphytes somewhere here, we'll try if we can fix this. So bringing this back as well. So now that we have removed most of the untidy piece, this is one Pinnatifida also. If you can see here, this looks pretty well, also well established. We'll take this out as well. Now, the best process would be transfer this to a water bowl just to ensure they don't dry up, because the moment these plants stress up, it's gonna be very difficult to revive them again. So we'll add this to a water bowl in a second, just a minute. So here we are transferring all of the plants into a bowl of water. This is gonna be the last two of it. There are a few other bucephalandra still inside, but they're kind of stuck to a rock, so that should be okay. The next piece of thing that we have to get done is we need to trim the rotala. So we'll start with trimming. So now that we have trimmed all of the rotalas, we'll just clean up that's on the top. Obviously, this is something that keeps me bothering. Obviously, we can do it at the end also, and we'll have to do it at the end also. But I prefer doing it in between once at least so that I can have an idea what I'm getting into. So once we clean this, we'll start at least replanting the rotalas back up there. Now, the reason why I'm not uprooting the Monte Carlo as of now is the moment I uproot them, it will kind of unsettle the soil and it will remove the dirt. With this, the aquarium becomes a lot more messier and it kind of becomes difficult to replant everything. Now, obviously, replanting the complete set of rotala is going to be a time-taking job. We'll be doing it in a kind of a time lapse, but yes, I really don't want to do the rotala as well as the Monte Carlo all together because it will get a kind of bit strainer as well. So first we'll fix the rotalas. Once we fix the rotalas, we'll cut this Monte Carlo from the top. We'll clean the bit of dirt over here. We'll clean the mosses over here. Kind of give a bit of brush to the rocks so that it can get that rocky feel again, and then we'll kind of let it sit for the dust and everything to settle by. And once it is set, we'll have a complete platform of soil over here, and then we'll start planting our Monte Carlo again. So getting back in planting the rotala again. So now that we are done with the plantation of the rotalas back up there, we'll try to clean the extra moss, try to get back the stone look again. So you'll see there is a tiny piece of rock over here with two nice, beautiful looking bucephalandra. We'll take this out. Uh, we'll keep it back into the water bowl, and then all other bucephalandra that you see here, these are kind of attached to the wood. So I mean to the rock. So we'll let it stay over there and we'll start cleaning the moss over here. So basically, we're trying to have a very clean look to it. And obviously, this moss is not a very good looking as of now. So as you can see, we are done cleaning most of our moss. Now we'll get rid of this Monte Carlo over here. It's not a great looking Monte Carlo, but we need to be careful. I have a lot of assassin snails. So I don't want to take any of the babies out. But as you can see, my aquarium will get even more dirtier. But uh, sometimes you need to take some adverse steps for the betterment. So I guess most of the Monte Carlo is out. There's still a bit out there. I'll get that removed as well. You can see my two assassin snails and few of my shrimps trying to play around. There are no assassin snails uh, babies over here, so we are kind of good. Try to clean whatever I can directly. So now we are rid of most of it. Now this looks pretty much untidy and I believe you can hardly see anything through. But yes, we'll let the aquarium sit for some time and filter do the job it has been hired for. And I guess in an hour or two, this aquarium shall get set. And once it gets set, we'll do a kind of cleanup. So in the cleanup, we will be siphoning everything that's sitting over here as a dirt. And the moment we siphon it, we'll refill the water, we'll let it sit around, and after 24 hours, we'll plant all the Monte Carlo over here. Now, basically, when it's a new setup, we can do everything in the same go itself. But now that we are kind of revamping it, I really don't want to break this aquarium altogether, and set it up from the very basics. So stay tuned, and let's connect tomorrow. Thank you, and have a good day.